Stronghold SHX to $1 in this 2025 bull market? That's what we're going to cover in this video. We're going to cover where Stronghold SHX is at now. Where could it head to and where could it extend to in this alt season that could be weeks away here. So if you're new, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave a like and a comment, share this video with every SHX holder you know. Also leave a comment as well too of a ticker you want me to do for a 2025 price prediction video and I will do it. I've already done coins like Bitcoin, Onyx Coin, ZBEC, Velo, Sofon, and so on. So leave a comment of a ticker and I will do it. Now, before I begin here, I just want to say I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. I'm just showing you on the charts what I'm seeing as far as where Stronghold could go to in 2025 based off the Stargate software here. So now that we got that covered, let's dive straight into it. Straight out of the gate here, we have on our screen the Stargate software. First off, we have the Stargate OG signals, which are the vertical lines here. Your vertical red is your prepare to sell soon signal. Your vertical yellow is your sell now signal. Your vertical green is your prepare to buy soon signal. And your vertical blue is your buy now signal. Then we have the Stargate Fib forecaster on the right side. You have 3 Fibonacci retracement / extensions. You have the red micro Fibonacci, the yellow medium Fibonacci, and then the green macro Fibonacci. And as price moves, the Fibonacci's move with it automatically. So no more manually drawing Fibonacci's. They'll automatically adjust as the price moves. Then we have our fan favorite, the Stargate snakes. You have this green zone, which I like to call the belly of the beast. The belly of the beast is usually the best times to buy at bear market bottoms and great accumulation zones. As you can see here, back 2022, we're stuck in the belly of the beast. Best times to buy right before we head up into the hot zone. There's a red zone here. When we get into the hot zone or sometimes even stretch past the hot zone, usually it's the best time to take some profits off the table for potential bull market tops. So now that we covered that, let's get into the charts. Stronghold is currently at 0.007865, and we're going to cover the must hold levels for Stronghold in the immediate short term if we're going to potentially stretch up and see new all-time highs in the imminent future. And I would say our first level that we must hold for Stronghold in the immediate short term is going to be this micro 786 here. So you can see on the Stargate Fib forecaster, this red one, you have the 786 and that's at 0.007054. Definitely a must hold level if we were to see Stronghold for any reason come a little bit lower here. Then I would say our final line in the sand as far as where we'd want Stronghold to hold in the immediate short term if we're going to see in the coming weeks to months new all-time highs for it would be the top of the belly of the beast. That's going to be our must-hold level where we want to stay above with candle body closes. As you can see back in 2024, what happened? We had our tops here with the sell and then we had our prepare to buy soon. We tanked and where did we find support right at? With a wick right at the top of the belly of the beast. That would have been an amazing reaccumulation right there on that little wick. Then we had our buy now. We went sideways for some time and then end of 2024 we went up and then we had the whole thing repeat. So our first level to hold is going to be 0.007 flat. And then we have our line in the sand level at basically 0.0059, 0.006, which is the top of the belly of the beast. So now that we got our must hold levels in the immediate short term for Stronghold, we're going to get into where do we absolutely need to break above in the immediate short term to see potential new all-time highs. And that's going to be this level right here on the Stargate snakes, this purple MA on the snakes. And that's currently at 0.01. So basically a cent flat for Stronghold. So really what we want to see is Stronghold, if it comes down, hold this level and then pop up and get above the purple MA on the snakes here, you can see, and hold that as support. And if it can clear and get above that level, then we have our next concrete ceiling, which is going to be, if I were to draw from this high down to this low here, we have our next level, which is this 786 coinciding with the orange MA on the snakes. So we have the orange MA on the snakes right there coinciding with the 786 retracement up to here. And that's going to be our next concrete level to smash above, which actually looking to the left, if I hide the indicators here for a moment, is coinciding with our previous high that we had set in February 2024. So that's going to be massive to smash above. Now that we got those covered, we can now get into where Stronghold could potentially stretch to and extend to after getting above those concrete ceiling levels. So now I'm going to throw the indicators back on here and let's get into it. So first level we're going to mark is our bottom of the hot zone, which is currently at basically 3 cents. But also I just want to mention, as price moves up, the snakes are going to move up with it. So it's a moving target. As you can see, when we started to move up here in 2023 aggressively, you could start to see the hot zone, the snakes start to slither up, and then the belly of the beast, which is basically the floor, start to slither up with it. But right now, currently, the bottom of the hot zone is at basically 3 cents flat. Then we have our top of the hot zone, which currently is at about 5.5 cents. We have our 1618 extension right here at 0.044. And then we have our 14 cent level, which is the 2618. And then we have our 326 extension right here and our 4236 extension, which is right at $1 as we speak. So now that we got that, I'm going to delete this fib that I drew there, and now we're going to cover it and recap. But before I do that, let me just cover one more Fibonacci. So I'm going to take the high back in early 2024 to the low that we had set mid 2024, and we have additional levels here that we got to cover. So first off, the 786 is coinciding with our first concrete resistance, our concrete ceiling that I had covered, which is currently right here at that purple MA on the snakes. So as you can see, we have our 786 currently residing with the purple MA on the snakes. So that's going to be more confluence to tell us that this is absolutely a critical concrete resistance to get above. So I'm going to mark that and we're going to shade that concrete ceiling. That's our first one. So then we have our second concrete ceiling here, which is right here, which I need to cover. And then let me just mark our concrete support, and then our second concrete support, which is the top of the belly of the beast. So there we go. Now I'm going to mark these additional levels. We have our 1618, which is right here, basically coinciding with the top of the hot zone. So that's going to be another key area confluence that we can shade. So let's shade that, and I'm going to mark that as red. There we go. Then we have our 2618 extension coinciding closely to that 3618 that was drawn previously. So this is another great area zone that I can shade right there. And then we have our 4236 at $7.30, and then our 3618 around 226. So there we go. To recap, our first absolute critical area to hold in the immediate short term, our first concrete support floor, if we're going to see immediate moves to the upside for Stronghold over the coming weeks to months, is going to be that first level of basically 0.007 flat. If we were to break that level and go down further, we have the top of the belly of the beast as our second concrete support, sitting around 0.0058 to 0.0059 as our must hold level. Worst case scenario, say there's a catastrophe that happens in the crypto market, I'd say we have our bottom of the belly of the beast here at 0.0029, basically 0.003, which is going to be like the absolute line in the sand. If we break below that, it's not good whatsoever. So that's our like white flag right there, a white flag line in the sand. Now that we covered that, we can cover to the upside. Where do we absolutely need to break above to see potential new all-time highs in the coming weeks to months? That's going to be this first mega concrete ceiling of a cent flat. We need to break above there. Multiple confluences there. If we can do that and we break above and we hold above for basically a week, 2 weeks, then it's very likely we're going to come up immediately with a 60% move to retest this key level, which is the orange MA on the Stargate snakes, our previous all-time high back here in 2024. And that's going to be another key level to break above, because if we can do that and hold above and we have enough juice sauce momentum, it's very likely we're only going to stay there just for a moment before heading into new all-time highs. And where's the first level that we could target? That's going to be this level right here, 0.029, which is the bottom of the hot zone currently at this moment. And usually, as you can see, like back in 2024, we got hung up at the bottom of the hot zone. We couldn't break into it. But if this time we're able to actually crack into it and break into the hot zone with enough juice sauce momentum, then it's very likely we can stretch up and head up to the top of the hot zone, which our next level is around 0.044, but it's very likely we'll head to the top of the hot zone, which we have a confluence of multiple things there, which is sitting around 5 to 5.5 cents currently. So let's first mark it. From current levels to the bottom of the hot zone, you're talking about currently, 3.5x from current levels. So 3.5x to that 0.029. Then to the top of the hot zone from current levels, that is basically about a 7x right there, 7x to the top of the hot zone. And then if we absolutely just skyrocket for Stronghold, we have our other levels up here. We have 14 cents. So from current levels, that is about a 18x up to 14 cents from current levels. And then we have our next zone here, shaded zone. And from current levels, that is about a 43 to 61x, 43 to 61x up to those levels there, 43 to 61x, which would bring Stronghold up to around 34 to around 50 cents, 34 to 50 cents. Then we have our target of $1 from current levels. We are talking about a massive, whopping, mega cheese target of about 123x, basically 123x up to $1 from current levels. And then we have other targets up here around $2.26 and $7.43. But to be honest, and we'll look at it, we'll look at the market cap, see if that's a possibility or realistic. We'll take a look at it, but who wouldn't be happy with 123x? That's a solid, massive gain, life-changing gain right there. So keep those levels, $2.26, $7.43 on the radar, but don't bank on it. Even we're going to take a look at that dollar. But that recaps basically where we need to hold for Stronghold in the immediate short term, where do we need to break above in the immediate short term, and where can we extend to if we head into new all-time highs here. So let's take a look. Stronghold's currently at a 45 million market cap. I mean, going straight for that big cheese target of $1, we're talking 123x. So let's say 100. So that brings it to around a 5 billion to 7 billion market cap. Could it happen? Absolutely. I mean, 5 to 7 billion market cap, you have meme coins at those numbers. I mean, if we see the whole crypto market rise collectively and we see a massive alt season, and if Stronghold has a utility, the adoption, the product, the software, the services that can withstand the test of time here and it's getting adopted, then absolute 5 to 7 billion. I mean, we take a look and go through here. You have Pepe at 5 billion right now, basically. So could it happen? I definitely think, obviously not financial advice, not financial advisor, not guaranteed. Based off the math and what I'm seeing in the targets, definitely could be a possibility for $1 Stronghold. But you let me know in the comments if you think that's possible, if you hold Stronghold, and definitely send this to every Stronghold holder you know, and subscribe and get these videos pressed out to you in real time by clicking that notification bell. So one thing I also wanted to cover too is let's hide these markings for a moment and let's kind of take a look at what happened here as far as the Stargate signals, right? And this pattern that I noticed, and I actually put out a price prediction video back in February of this year, and I outlined this to be a potential scenario, and it actually played out. Is basically what you see on the 3-day chart for Stronghold is the 3-day buy nows on the OG Stargate signals hit the bottoms before rising up. And then usually we see 1 sell now, 2 sell nows before hitting our ultimate top, before heading down here and repeating the same thing again. We had our prepare to buy soons, our buy now signal, that 1 buy now, a little bit of sideways, just like back here, a little bit of sideways, and then we repeat again. We had our move up with the prepare to sell soons, our sell now signal, our first one, and then our second sell now signal, which nailed the top just like back here, and then we repeat again. We went down a lot, like I mean from that sell now to where it went down to and where that buy now, that's a 50% drawdown. So we had the same thing happen, and we just back in May had our buy now signal, just like the previous times in 2023, our buy now, our 2024, our buy now, and then in 2025, our buy now. We can measure out how long it took until we saw expansion for Stronghold. This time back in 2023, it was about 90 days. Then we had back in 2024, it was about 60 days. And now currently we are about 42 days in for 2025 for Stronghold. So like I said, we could be weeks away here for seeing the next move up for Stronghold. And this time around, if you want to be kitted up with the tools to be able to know when it's time to sell with these OG Stargate signals, because it's very likely we're going to follow the same pattern again, where we see that first sell now, and then our second sell now, and that being the ultimate top. Because at the end of the day, price targets are price targets and they're static. I mean, as you can see here, let's say you were targeting back in late 2024 for Stronghold to go up to 5 cents. and we only went up to around, let's say, 2 cents, but you were really hoping for that 5 cents because you had an idea of a number that you wanted, but it didn't pan out. You watched it go back down and draw down back to 0.007 when it was up so much more. So that's why at the end of the day, price targets are more of like a roadmap of where prices could go to. But if we fall short of those targets and you're really hoping on that hard level of a target and you don't sell and you don't realize that we're starting to roll over, you could be stuck round tripping it. The only round trips that we want to take when we take our profits and we head to UK to see UK Grime. Shout out to UK Grime. We don't want to see round trips as far as pricing goes, because as you can see here, I mean, if you bought back in September 2024 at 0.005, you saw some big gains up. You saw some, 4 or 5x, and then you round tripped it right back up to only being up 10 or 20%, and all that time that has elapsed. You want to play this market right and strategically, and you can really grow the amount of holdings you have, as well as grow your potential profits by the end of this when all is said and done. So if you wanted access to the Stargate software, where you're getting access to the Stargate snakes, the Stargate OG signals with the prepare to buys, the prepare to sells, the sell nows, and access to the fib forecasters, so you get those levels of where prices could potentially extend to or fall to in real time, then link in the bio, go to that beacons.ai/Stargate link, come down here to Stargate VIP group, join the waitlist, put your information into there, and I will reach out to you. My name is Rob at Stargate. Just so you know, when I reach out, I'll either send you a text or an email or both, or I might even just call you. Because time is running out. And if you're serious about getting kitted and suited up with the tools to make sure that you execute in this coming alt season here, then it's time to get you set up right away before the moves start to happen. So link in the bio, go to that beacons.ai/Stargate link, go to that Stargate VIP group, join the waitlist. First come, first serve. There's only 3 people here that work at Stargate, me, myself, and I. So I can only take a limited amount of people at a time. So make sure if you're interested, you're putting yourself on that waitlist right away, and I'll reach out to you guys one by one until we hit that max point. Also, as well, too, other links on here, check them out. All good stuff on here. And if you're not already in the Discord, you can see right here, join the Discord. Lastly, put that ticker in the comments of a coin you want me to cover, and I will get it done. I'm busting out a ton of these 2025 blow off top target videos before we start to see the real moves happen. So that's going to be it. I'll see you guys in the Discord. I'll see you guys in VIP. And I'll see you guys in the next video.